So my name is Chris Banks. I run an organization called the Banksgiving Company. And what we do is that we teach middle and high school young adults like yourself about different aspects of business and finance. So a lot of the things that we do, we go into schools, go into private organizations and break down a few different things about the business world on finance. We also have monthly seminars held at Temple University. Here's the flyer for the next one, where again, we focus on one thing and break that down. So the next one, November 9th at Temple University. If any of you guys are, can make it to Philadelphia on a Saturday, certainly come through. We're going to talk about fashion and finance. So the thing about that is, how much do things really cost, right? So so we know how much the store tells us the price is. What's the actual cost of production, right? Also, if you're into fashion, right, how you can be a part of the industry as well, whether from an entrepreneur, whether from a job or other things. Right? I think it's very important that I teach these things, not because I want everybody to be an accountant or a mathematician or this and that, but I certainly think that in any industry, if you don't understand the finances behind it, then you're doomed for something bad to happen, right? So it's very important to understand the finances, whether you're the CEO, whether you're, just an analyst at a lower level, right? It's very important to see. And I'll pass out my Instagram later on for you guys to follow and be able to keep up with. So two things I want to talk about today, right? I want to talk about what are some of your money goals, right? And how that relates to having a budget and going forward. I also want to talk about different aspects of branding and marketing and how branding relates to entrepreneurship and so forth. So as I said, 10:22? 10:24, right? I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. One of the first things I like to go through, right? This on a board, right? So this is something that I put on my Instagram a few months ago, and it had 4 choices, right? So the first choice is, what would you choose? Would you take $1 million in cash? Would you do a 50% chance of winning $200 million? Would you do a lifetime free traveling? And traveling is, let's say, the plane and the hotel, right? Forever. Or would you hang out with the richest person on earth for 3 years? So with the person next to you, let's say about 2 or 3 people, right? Let's discuss, and let's say in 5 minutes, I give you guys 5 minutes, and then we'll talk about which one you pick and why. So I give you guys 5 minutes, you can start now. Let's also be clear, right? Now listen, it's no right or wrong answer. It's all about your relationship with money and your personal style.
And if you do win it, it's nothing but trouble. Everyone who's a lottery ends up in trouble. And the other one is a rich person. There can be stuff you never do, like travel on a private jet, all that kind of fun. It's all $1 million.
Alright, so we ready? We need more time. Raise your hand if you did $1 million. Okay. That's a nice video. Raise your hand if you did 50% chance $200 million. Oh, no daredevils in here, huh? Alright, raise your hand if you did lifetime free traveling.
Wait, I wanted $1 million.
Alright, I got you. I'll put you in $1 million. I'll put you in. And raise your hand if you did hang out with the richest person. Alright, let's start with the hang out with the richest person. Who wants to explain why? Now, understand, again, no right or wrong answer, just about your personal relationship with money. We also don't want you to say why you didn't pick something else. Just want to know why you picked this one. So hang out with the richest person, my man in the red. And then you.
So, My idea is that rich person can give you their advice and how to be successful in your career. So then, basically, whoever you surround yourself with is what you will like be influenced.
Yeah, to add on to that, you could be a potential investor, you could be something you never do, which a lot of people kind of agree with.
So even those 3 years, they could give you advice that could last a lifetime. So.
For sure, I like that. Go ahead, you next.
It's kind of like thinking they could eventually, that could be your lifetime time. And like, you could basically help them to invest the pen, and then could like delegate the pen.
Yeah, sure.
And then, yeah, technically, if you have a 50% chance of getting about 2 million or 1 million.
Alright, I ain't mad at you. Lifetime free travel. Who wants to talk about why they picked that? Go ahead.
I said because traveling for me, in my experience, I love traveling. Not that I've traveled inside the country, but just being able to experience other cultures and other countries. I feel like that has more of a life value than actually having free cash, I guess. I feel like experience is more important to me than the actual amount of money.
Certainly, I'm with that. Someone else for lifetime free? Go ahead.
All it's covered is like the plane and the hotel, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But then, like, do you choose the hotel? You can choose the hotel, right?
Sure.
That's the thing.
I want to do that then. Wait, you can choose first class and all that, right?
Tell me why. Tell me why. My man's like, tell me why.
I want to switch.
You don't even need a house.
Alright.
You can just live in a hotel.
You know, I never, out of all the times I did this, I've never heard nobody say that, but you were certainly right. You can just go to the next spot.
Yeah.
But you might have a family, you might want to, you're not going to move your family every other day. Are you? And your clothes, everything, you just out? You gotta pay for the bags, dog. The flight is free. You gotta pay for extra bags. All right. So nobody picked 200 million, right? Nobody picked 200 million. All right. Tell me why you picked the 1 million.
It's because I see the 1 million as like a loan or something. Like that's to me, and then I could just double that.
Not alone, because you don't got to pay.
All right, yeah, cool. But I could just double that and put in different investments, and then my money's coming up, and that million just turned into like 200 million. And then when I start making more money, I get that experience because I went through it by myself. And then other people come, and you meet more people, and you're networking. So $1 million, like you start, and then boom, 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 you're up.
Okay. To the black in the back.
So, for me,
Wait up, y'all. Let's show her some respect. Go ahead.
for me, it's like I already know my life is gonna be successful, and that million is just gonna help me get there a little faster.
Okay.
Same thing with investing, like just
All right.
trying to level it up.
I ain't mad at you for that. One more person for $1 million. Who else? Want to talk about why they did $1 million? Anything different? You?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you can do anything with the money, so it would be more than just all I can travel when I would be able to buy whatever I want, go wherever I want. So.
Is it fine that every time someone speaks, I move it to them?
Certainly. All right. Y'all want to know which one I picked? No, nobody want to know? I'm gonna say I go next. No matter. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll go through each one and about my personal. So first time I got this, number one thing I did was $1 million in cash, right? So the $1 million cash is interesting because that is the only guaranteed money that's up there, right? It's only guaranteed. It's also something that should be noted. You spend $1, you're no longer a millionaire, right? So now you got $999,000. So I know it sounds sexy to be a millionaire. Then you spend $1 and you're like, technically not really. But I think that oftentimes, especially if you're coming from, urban environments, we like, yo, give me the money. I heard somebody over there that was like, yo, that's going, hanging out for 3 years, that's going to be too long. Too long for who? You're 18. Like, planning for 21 is too long? A lot of us do think like that. We shouldn't necessarily think like that. And $1 million is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea if you already have a plan for it, right? So if you're already saying, like my man, or like you're saying in the back, listen, I have a business, all I need is, $500,000 seed money or funding or something like that. This is going to take me to the next level. Then certainly get that $1 million. You already know how you're going to make $1 million flip into 10 million, right? That's something different. Most times though, right? We get the money, and then we start planning. And the reality situation is once that money is in your pocket or in your bank account, you just start spending it. You start spending it, especially if you don't already have a plan. It's hard to plan once you have it. And that's what we see a lot of times with our athletes, with our musicians, with whoever. Right? You're like, damn, like, they just had a $25 million contract for a year. How they broke? Like, how you mess that money up? This is how, right? Because $1 million, right? Which is honestly, at 18 years old, $1 million is not a lot of money. You know, like it's not enough to set you up for the rest of your life. Like it's just not. Now 200 million is, right? But $1 million is not. You know, that's not a lot of money. That's just going to naturally just take care of itself. So I think that's something to think about. And again, a lot of times we are so much in a rush to take the cash because we don't come from money, right? That if we just sat on it for a little bit, it might be 50 million behind door two. One of the things I want to explain real quick. I was watching the other day, the guy who originally played Simba in The Lion King, right? He was like in 92 or 94, whatever the movie came out. Disney offered him $2 billion, right? And he said no. He negotiated and said, I would rather take $100,000 and have royalties. Anybody know what royalties is?
Right. So it's like every time, well, like I'll use this example, if I sell a product, and like, let's say I sell you my business, and you're like, and I want a royalty on each product, every time that product sells, I get like $5 off every.
Certainly, right? So I don't know what his percentage was, right? But he's saying that anytime you use this likeness or this image of Simba, whether it's on a t-shirt, whether it's on, a stuffed animal, whether this movie is being played or new contracts, I want a part of that, right? So he left that $2 million up front and, said that ended up being multiple millions that he got paid for almost the rest of his life for the next 20 to 30 years. To the point where, Lion King is such a big movie that they just created 2 this year, which is 25 years later. So, again, betting on himself, he didn't take that startup money, right? He said, look, just give me this right here, and I'm going to bet that it's going to be able to grow more. Because the way business works, right? If they're giving you $2 million, Disney ain't making $4 million. They're giving you $2 million, which is a lowball number, because they might be making $600 million, right? So he's like, no, I want a piece of this pie forever. Now, if Disney... So look on the bright side. If Disney ended up making $3 billion off of Lion King, and everybody knows Simba is the main character, right? And he got $2 million out that deal, he would have been spent that money already, and he probably would have been kicking himself like, gee, 50% chance of winning $200 million. This is the first time that nobody's ever picked that. It's not always the popular one, but most times somebody picks it. It's something you gotta think about, right? So if I hit this, then I'm changing my life, and my kid's life, and my kid's life, and my little brother. I'm changing it for generations. If I don't, am I comfortable where my life is now? That hey, I could be wherever I am now for the rest of my life, right? It's certainly a big risk. My guy at the bottom, he said, he said I would do the 200 million. I want to feel that rush. And I'm like, dog, you want to feel a rush? You could drink a Red Bull. You don't necessarily got to do it, with 200 million on the line. That's a lot of money. Lifetime free traveling. You in the back, you kind of hit it right on the nose. I'm admittedly not the most well-traveled person, but to my friends who are, they talk about how traveling just opens up your mind and your experiences to things that, you never would have thought about. Think about it, like, the world is much bigger than Norristown. It's much bigger than Philadelphia. It's much bigger than New York, right? There's so many different countries, continents, and cities that you could learn so many things about, right? That, it takes for you to take one of those experiences and you're like, yo, life is different out here, right? People think different. People are smiling everywhere I go. Nobody's ice grilling me everywhere I go. It takes sometimes for you to branch out to then you can come back with a different business sense. Maybe the way they handle money or ideas in certain countries are more forward thinking than here. But certainly there is a major value in lifetime free travel. Me personally, though, I went with the hangout with the richest person for 3 years. So I don't know who the richest person on earth is. I think the richest person in the U.S. I don't think he's the richest on earth, but I think he is the richest in the U.S. I think the richest on earth is I forgot. I think the guy might be from Nigeria or something. Somebody in the oil industry, if I'm not mistaken. But Jeff Bezos is certainly the richest person in the U.S. I think he's worth $114 billion, right? So for me being a people's person, me being a natural networker, right? If I'm hanging with him for 3 years, certainly I'm going to learn, you know, some of the things that he's done and how he created his business. I'm also going to be meeting or rubbing shoulders with other people who are worth millions of dollars. You got to think about it. It's probably people in his circle that are willing to pay you $1 million just to be in the same room with him. Like, this is like literally, you know, if somebody's worth $300 million or so, they might really want to do that to meet the richest person in the U.S. And, you know, I think about it, right, with the free traveling, right? Like, I seriously doubt, if me and him are hanging with each other for 3 years, I seriously doubt that he's going to be on his private jet and he's like, yeah, meet me at the regional rail, right? Like, I'm probably going to be, you know, I'm probably going to fly with him, at least for those 3 years. Also think about that with any industry, right? If you were to hang out with Michael Jordan, LeBron James for 3 years, you're going to learn something about basketball. You're going to at least know how to make a layup, a free throw, or something like that. Bet on yourself when it comes to money, right? This is going to be a tremendous learning experience that you may never get again. And I personally think that I will walk out of that 3 years, you know, at least knowing how to create 500 million. The reason why I picked this activity is, again, just like how it is with traveling, it's very important for you to understand the different aspects of creating business, of how the different ways of looking at money. Looking at how money is spent, looking at how money is earned, looking at how money is created for the next generations or so. So that goes right into like financial goals, right? So can anybody tell me about a goal that they have for themselves, a financial goal within the next year? Go ahead.
Open up a mutual fund.
You want to open up a mutual fund? Certainly, good goal. Certainly a good goal. Anybody else within the next year of a financial goal that they might want to have for themselves? Nothing? We just grew up with no goals in Norristown. Nobody got nothing.
Not financial.
Not financial. Why not? It's a financial aspect to everything in life. What you gonna do? You going to college for free? You just gonna be living? Like how you gonna live? You don't have no. Go ahead.
I don't want to worry about money in the future.
You don't want to worry about money in the future. Okay. How do you stop yourself from not worrying about money?
Get a good job, a career that I love.
Okay. All right, I'm with that. Anybody else about a goal that they might have within the next year or so? How many of us going to college? Right? So how many of us going to college 100% free? Not one of y'all, but not one of y'all had a financial goal to how you might be trying to get to college. I think you got about 4 to 6 months of at least applying for more scholarships and grants and stuff like that. That's not on nobody's radar. You're like, yo, it's cool, just give me the loan.
Sorry, I should have shared.
Huh?
Sorry, I should have shared.
I'm just saying, right? That's important to think about, right? And it might be something that you're like, you know what? I didn't even think about that. But it's certainly important. It's certainly important to have these goals because these goals relate to having a budget, having an understanding of where this money is coming in from, where it's going. Anybody know what an income is? What's the income?
How much you make a year? Or a source of income?
Income is any amount of money that you have coming in. Anybody know what an expense is? Anything that's going out, right? So the basic form of budgeting and of financial planning, right, is having a goal of is having a budget. So let's imagine that we got a piece of paper, got two sides of the paper. Income, expenses, right? That's the first step. Understanding, controlling your money is about having your budget. That's the most important step. You gotta have a budget. I tell people all the time, you can make $8 per hour or you can make $80 per hour. And depending on how you budget, how you work with your money, it can look the same. I say how? No way, right? If you make $8 per hour and you work 40 hours a week and you're very frugal and you save, you understand how to invest, you can do the same thing that person making $80 per hour can do. Especially if that person making $8 per hour, all they doing is getting their check and just spending, right? It happens all the time. That's how you able to see people like, yo, how is this person able to go on this trip? Well, how was they able to afford this? How was that? Right? Because maybe their saving habits are better. Maybe they grind, better than you do. A lot of different things. I'm gonna try to jump through this a little easier. Again, back to this, right? How many of us still get an allowance? All right, y'all don't want to admit it. I know some of y'all still get an allowance. But maybe that's a little juvenile for y'all. How many of us have a part-time job? All right, so we have a part-time job. That's your income. How many of us might, you plan on your birthday coming up that you're getting a nice gift or a nice amount of money for your birthday? Nobody? I think some more of y'all lying again. All right, again, how many of y'all, somebody out here owes you money? Raise your hand if somebody owes you money, right? That could be a source of income as well. Now, on the flip side, how many of us owe somebody else money? I appreciate y'all being honest, right? That would be an expense. You having to pay anybody money is an expense. But here's the thing about that, right? It's very important that you get into the habit of paying that off. Especially if you guys have an agreement, right? You don't want to get in the habit of owing people or businesses, right? Because what happens to that? What's the long-term effect of owing money? Debt, right? Debt is certainly, it can be used for positive, but most times, you know, it's not necessarily a good thing. And if you owe somebody money, and especially a company, right? What's the big thing about debt? Outside of just owing them the money that you borrow, what else do you have to pay them? The interest, right? So that can grow. So you might borrow $100 and end up having to pay them $150 back. You know, depending on where you are in your life and with your finances, you might not want to do that, right? Like, was that worth it? That, you know, I end up paying almost double of what I did. So I put up here income goal of $120,000. How many of y'all think that's a lot of money? Huh? A year. I mean, raise your hand if you think it's a lot of money. It's decent. How much you think is a lot of money for a year? Anybody. I'm not picking on you. 200, 300. Think it's a lot of money. 250. All right. How much do y'all think the average income in Norristown is?
40.
How much?
Don't teachers only make like 40 or 50?
I don't know. I'm not getting into teacher salary.
Like 40 grand average.
Somewhere around there, right? So let's think about this, right? So 40 grand, right? So it's about, I think it's about 34,000 people that live in like the Norristown area, right? And more than half of them, maybe even less, are making somewhere between like $40,000 and $45,000 a year. But y'all telling me that y'all plan on making $200,000 and $300,000. How we gonna do that? Huh? I mean, we might. Some of us might, and y'all don't have to answer that to me, right? We answer that to yourself, right? Because again, the stats are already out there, right? That the median income in Norristown, right, is $44,000. The median income in Philadelphia is something like $39,000. Now, granted, Philadelphia has 1.5 million people or something like that, but you know, like people don't see $120,000 in a year, in a lifetime, right? Like some of us, we never see this money. I remember growing up, my mom made about like $50,000 or something like that. So my goal coming out of college, I was like, I just want to make $50,000. I made $50,000 and I was like, oh nah, this ain't it. Like I need more, right? The reason why that's important, right, is because you know you should understand. Again, we're talking about goal planning, right? What is the number that you want to get to? How are you going to get there, right? All of us, yeah, we can say we're going to make $1 million. We can say we're going to make $2 million, and I'm certainly not the person that's telling you not to do it. But you certainly have to have a plan, a goal about how you're going to do that, because we see that we all come from an environment where the average person is making $40,000 per year. So how are we going to do that? That's very important to think about. That also goes to show you that all these people that you think was getting all this money and he had the sneaks and his mom at the house, you know, technically they're broke. You know what I'm saying? And again, right, we might not want to admit it, and I'm not trying to play y'all about that because I come from those same areas. But again, it is important to think about when we think about money. So we had, what time is class over again?
24.
24. So we had $10,000. I'm sorry. We had $120,000 a year. How much is this per month? Come on, seniors. $10,000 a month, right? So we got $10,000 a month, right? What's the first thing we paying for?
House, rent.
House, rent, bills. What's the first thing? What's the number one thing? You say a house?
Taxes.
You gonna pay your bills before you get a house? How you gonna do that?
I mean,
Loan? I don't know. I'm not asking y'all. Well, let's be clear. First thing you're gonna have to do is pay taxes. Right? Oh, we forgot about taxes. Okay. How much taxes off $120,000 salary?
More than $1,000.
Certainly, right? So probably about 25 to 30%. Take away 25 to 30% off 10,000. That has us at what?
7,500.
7,500, 7,000. Let's go with 7,000, right? So 10,000 a month, we really got 7,000. Let's go. So as we pay taxes, what's the number one bill that we need to pay first? House, right? Your house is important. How much we paying for rent and mortgage? We make 120,000 a year. Huh? 1,500? We agree on 1,500? Where we living at? Where we living? Wait. Where we living at? We living in Norristown. We living in Philly. We living in Cali. Where we living at? Living in Norristown?
Realistically, we live in North. I don't think about North.
Think about Norristown. Let's say this is 25, 30 years old. We living in Norristown?
Yeah.
How many of y'all want to leave Norristown? All right. Most of us want to leave, so we move. So we're moving to moving to Philly. Let's move to Philly. So let's say we 25, 30. We got a wife and a kid, right? How old is what? The kid?
How old the wife?
I don't know how old your wife is. Let's say you 30. Let's say you're 30 years old. All right. What's her income?
This is combined.
Let's say it's combined. Let's say it's combined. Say 120 between the two. Yeah. Let's say y'all both make 60,000. Right? So again, how much this house worth? So we said 15. I think that if we move into Philly, we got a 2-bedroom, nice area, right? It's gonna be between 15 and 2,000, but let's round up a little bit. Let's say 2,000. Right? So 2,000 that got us is what? How much money we got left? 5,000. Right? So what's the next major thing we got to pay for?
Electric, gas, water.
Okay. We got a car or we walking everywhere? What we doing? You getting trained? You and your wife? You and your wife and kids? You take it? Man, I don't know. You tell me. What we thinking? So we don't. All right. So we saying no whip. We having no car. We having no car.
So we buying a car, we paying it off $3 grand.
$3 grand? What car you going? What you got? A Bonneville? What kind of car you got for $3 grand? What year is your car?
I bought my car for it.
You 18.
That don't matter.
Alright, that's your wife. I don't know. Look, that's cool. This is the first person that said that. Let's say no whip. Let's say no car. Cool. That's cool. Alright, so what's the next biggest thing we gotta do in the house?
Pay bills.
Bills, right? How much is cable? We're not doing cable? I love this. So we're not doing cable?
We got satellite.
Wait, come on. We're not doing internet either?
We got satellite.
We're not doing internet either? How much internet? Come on. How much internet?
$50.
It's probably about 100 something a month just Wi-Fi. That's all we're doing. No cable. Your kid ain't watching Nickelodeon.
Netflix.
We ain't watching That's So Raven. YouTube. All right, cool. That's $1,000, right? All right, cool. All right, let's go. No cable. We can do Netflix, right? So let's just say 200. Let's just say 200. Internet, Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff we got. Right? Let's say 200. Right? So we was at 49. Now we have 47. What about food? How much is food for a family of 3?
How much?
Let's say we going to the store. 200. We are eating oodles and noodles every day. $200 for a month?
That's what.
Oh, a week. Oh, I think he's talking about for a month. What y'all thinking though? Because he said 800.
If I food stamps, it could just.
We ain't got food stamps because we making them too much money. Wait, so we said how much? Certainly gonna be probably more than 300. I think between 5 and 8. I think between 5 and 8. Let's say 600 though. How much money we had? How much money did we have? How much did we have? We have 5 grand.
47.
47? 47, let's take away 6, that's 41. Take away 6, that's 41. What's the next thing we gotta do?
Clothes for your kids.
Wait, you said the kid. What kind of school? Our kid, we in public school, we in private school? Public? In Philly?
Nah, but you gotta go check
Time out. Listen, let's be clear about this, right? So you know that the way like the world works. Listen. You know the way the world works, right? The better area, technically, the better schools, right? So we pick a better area or better schools, we're gonna be paying more in either rent or mortgage, right? If we want to go a lesser area, medium income or medium area, right? Then we're probably gonna pay more for the private. We're probably gonna pay for private school. So which one are we doing? Let's just be clear. We're doing private school. How much does private school cost? That's a good question. How much does private school cost?
Maybe $600.
600 a month, or 600 a month? Might be probably more around $1,000 a month, right? For a good private school. So we was at 41. Now we at we was at 41. Now we at 31. It ain't over yet. So what's next? Electric. I forgot about that. You know, electric, heat, water, right? Utility. Probably about another 231. So now we at 29.
You have to get to work in school, right?
Wasn't that? I mean, they said they don't have a car, which is crazy to me. But
You have to
Transportation.
so how much that transportation is costing for all three of us per month?
Wait, everybody?
Listen, in the interest of time, we can do this for a while. In the interest of time, I'm gonna stop y'all, right? But one major thing, right? We went to college. We paying our student loans, or we just not gonna pay? Oh, we not gonna pay. Everybody just raised their hand here and said that nobody has a full scholarship. So some of us is leaving with some loans, right? So 3,100. Wait, so we're down to 30. The point I'm trying to make with this, right? And again, like you can play with this, you know, yourself at another point. We talking about 120,000, right? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that says some people never see. That's certainly above the U.S. average, right? And we just shown how quick we can run out of $10,000 off of making $120,000 per year. So imagine if we only made 60,000. Imagine we only made 50,000, right? This is why you have to budget. You have to plan for this because this happens every month. And we talking about before you take your wife out to eat, before you take your kid to the movies, before you go to the Franklin Institute, right? We down to 3,000. And again, we said we're not paying for transportation. You know what I'm saying? But most people are. Most people might have 2 cars, depending on what area you live in. That's how quick money goes. 10:22?
24. Yeah,
10:24. All right. So I got like 5 minutes left. What I will say, everybody has Instagram. If you can do me a favor right now and go out and follow these accounts. So, for one, if you guys wanted to talk further about any type of financial questions or anything, Mr. Banks, I was planning on opening up a business, or I was, I wanted to know more about the stock market. Give a follow. Make sure you send me a message. Let me know you're from Norristown High, and I can try to connect you with anybody that I can, any business that I can. If not, I'll certainly pass you on to the right person, and we can share some ideas. Also, for the program that I have that's free, if you guys have the time, certainly come down to Philly, man, on one of those Saturdays, man. We can talk about it. A lot of times we have special guests that come by too, and speak with it. We got 5 minutes left. Let me see. All right. So right there, right? So if I stop the class and I say, hey, everybody, make sure y'all follow me on my Instagram. What is that I'm doing?
Promoting yourself.
Promoting myself, marketing, branding, right? Right, all of that, right? I want everybody to be able to follow the brand, to be able to keep up with me, to be able to, to remember me when I leave this this area, right? So let's talk about this, right? And y'all can just shout this out. What is this?
Back for a second.
Right? So they've done a tremendous job of branding. Everybody in here knows all of them, right? From any angle we know, right? And it's very simple, right? Jordan is literally him jumping over the foul line in 1980 something. Target is literally a target. That's something I didn't realize till like 3 months ago. Like I literally saw a dot with like a circle around it. I'm like, oh, it's a target. McDonald's is an M. That art. Some people say it's a French fry. Like certainly it'll be a crooked French fry. But it's McDonald's make you think.
Maybe it's like 2 of the golden arches that are literally good.
That probably is it too. But either way, YouTube is a play button, right? But it's very simple. The reason why I talk about this, and I got 3 minutes left, real quick, y'all. The reason why I talk about this, right, is, you know, whoever is behind the design and their branding team, they were able to come up with things that they know that will be memorable to you guys forever, right? You guys going into 12th grade, going into college, right? It's very important that you start to work on or establish what you want your brand to be, how you want to market. Instagram, social media, please, y'all. Instagram, social media is an amazing tool that you can promote any business, any idea that you want. Let's start using it, especially as we go into college, right? Some of us, we're going to have a job. Some of us going to want a part-time hustle. That social media can connect you to millions of people everywhere, right? So that's very important how you brand yourself. If you want to be the party person, the person falling asleep, whatever, people going to remember you for that. So then when it's time to talk about business, I'm like, he ain't really my, you know, my type of person. Right? So that's very important. Again, it's about how you brand yourself. We got these Instagrams as we come into adulthood, right? Let's start using Instagram for more than just some hard eye emojis on a pic. For more than just a fire emoji. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about how we can use these free platforms, right? To create businesses for ourselves and, you know, to kick in the door. Let's talk about more about branding. Who's this?
Beyonce. Make it $25.
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather. You want to know Floyd?
Stop playing with me.
Drake, right? All these people, right, are tremendous branding and marketing people. Again, in a longer session, I'll be able to tell you guys more breakdown about how all of them in their business sense and business mind. But this bell should be ringing in about 45 seconds. So feel free, again, to contact me. Just remind me that you guys are from Norristown. We can hold any type of conversations that you want. Thanks for having me, Norristown. I appreciate it.